Yes, burlesque lives. We're going to peer behind the fans in feather boas to reveal the exotic art of stripping as Entertainment Tonight bumps and grinds into the first weekend in May 1991.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for joining us for Entertainment Tonight. I'm Lisa Gibbons.
And I'm John Tesh. And don't you know, for years, strippers held sway over the audiences that packed the country's burlesque houses. Now, the exotic art of stripping seems a quaint relic of a less erotic time until you visit the Strippers Hall of Fame. With fans and feather boas, tassels, and even bubbles, strippers strut their stuff. But anyone who thinks this bit of female pageantry went out with Gypsy Rose Lee hasn't encountered a tiny little spot in the Mojave Desert. Helendale, California's exotic world ranch.
And to open our gala review, we're going to have Miss Dixie Evans.
Here at the home of the Strippers Hall of Fame, the proprietress, Dixie Evans, may be eligible for Social Security, but she still knows all the moves. The dancers recently held their 34th annual reunion, along with a pageant that can only be described as unique. The women's ages vary widely, but all take pride in their work.
My parents were the first ones to support me. As a matter of fact, my mom was the first one who made my costume.
It's just a very exciting job. You know, lots of adrenaline.
In today's era, strippers seem almost quaint compared to totally nude performers live and on film. But the heyday of burlesque earlier this century, with its traditions and history, is being kept alive by many of these dancers in the desert.
The only difference between burlesque and today is you've got to remember, burlesque, we had theater, we had stagehands, we had lightmen, we had props, but we put on a theatrical show. You know, everybody lives in the fast lane today. I mean, they've got a microwave and everything must be fast, so I guess the guys don't want to wait for them to take their clothes off.
The mystery of legendary fan dancer Sally Rand, the fiery passion of Blaze Starr, subject of a 1989 film. And the cute and sexy pinups of the 40s and 50s are not forgotten at this one-of-a-kind museum. Ann Corio and her burlesque troupe have carried on the tradition for decades now.
I am never embarrassed or ashamed of anything I do. That doesn't mean that you have to be St. Teresa or something, but to perform like a lady and respect what you're doing.
Come on, let's hear it out there. Nice round of applause as these girls do a little strut of a finale.
Tony Alessandrini, 40 years old and proud of it, was crowned Miss Exotic World. Her revealing Red Devil costume undoubtedly helped her win. And Dixie Evans, who spent years billed as the Marilyn Monroe of burlesque, is happy with the contest results.
Some girls flew in from Miami, and then one girl drove all the way up from San Francisco. Some girls didn't know they were going to perform, so it was sort of scramble. But that's what a pageant is, and I think it came off okay, and I'm happy.
And though today's strippers may be faster and less clothed than the days of Sally Rand and Gypsy Rose Lee, the discipline, and to some, the art form, continue to live on.
Yeah! Come on, open it out, girl! The audience was going wild.
I don't know whether it was that or the Red Devil thing that did it for me. Apparently, there is no upper age limit for working as a stripper. 73-year-old exotic dancer Mitzi from Miami puts on shows for her retirement home cronies.
A home besieged by demons, a family desperately looking for help. That's been the plot of dozens.
And old strippers never die, they just fade away.
We have lots more when we come back.
They were the beauties of burlesque, and they still let it all hang out. That's next. And inside the mine,
There's a Hall of Fame for baseball, a Hall of Fame for rock and roll, and there's a Strippers Hall of Fame. Well, they don't like to be called strippers. The annual convention of Exotic Dancers League of America prefers to be known as the Beauties of Burlesque.
Burlesque is theater. It was just theater at its gaudiest, at its glamorous. We are a burlesque historical society. The public is realizing that fashion shows, walking down the runways, they're all stemming sort of from burlesque, but there is no more burlesque.
It was originally Mime, making fun of classy things, and to be funny. In those days, that's what they wanted. It was an art, the art of stripping. You know, they used to have, there is no art. I think that's the difference today. They don't really want art. They don't, because if they wanted art, they would be going and paying their admission to see the art of it. They don't. They pay admission to see the whammo.
The burlesque girls were always thinking of something unusual or different, you know, that was, it was kind of fun and a gimmick to it. I was the Marilyn Monroe burlesque.
I'd say, well, it just wasn't that easy to become a movie star. Of course not. I had to knock on every door until I thought I would drop. But somehow I just had to reach the top.
Burlesque dancing was a situation where there was a lot of creativity involved. A lot of the women used a lot of elaborate costumes. They used props. They came out and they used their body very, very well. They didn't just take it off. They removed their garments in a very sensual and sexual way. And not many people can do that. Stripping, the word implies what it says, stripping. You literally take it off.
Old-fashioned burlesque is a show, a theatrical performance, and a striptease. Whereas a lot of the modern ones, it's a lot of wonderful acrobatic dancing and interpretive dancing, but it's just totally modern and different.
The guys just probably got tired of seeing all the clothes and the feathers and all of that. I don't know what it was. I really don't. It's just changed. It's not quite the same. It's an era that is gone, and we're trying to preserve our image as what we used to be. This is the first time we're going to crown Miss Exotic World. We just hope that one of the younger girls will come out here once in a while, dust off the museum. Who knows? When something gets too perfected, it sort of loses something, and I think that was the charm of burlesque. We just had a way of getting out there and doing our own, and it was a little different than something that was staged.
Well, they look like they're in good shape. Now, when we come back, Dr. Joyce Brothers goes inside the mind of fatal vision killer Jeffrey McDonald.